Hey everybody, Mr.Catface here, and it's about that time for my Death Battle review that I haven't done in a while, but I'm still doing it now anyway. Yes, I'm doing this again. Omni-Man versus Bardock. Death Battle is back, guys. It's been a long 10 months, I think. It's been since Galactus vs. Unicron, but it's been a wild ride, and I'm so happy Death Battle is back. So I'm doing a review of Omni-Man vs. Bardock. You may be wondering, why aren't you using your camera? You always do these reviews in front of the camera. It's not working. I just start the video, and it goes, oh, no, I'm not doing that. So, whatever. I'll just do a voice recording and hopefully have like a funny thumbnail or something like that, so it's not boring. So here we go. As you guys might remember, if you don't, if in case this is your first review, I have a point system. You get a certain amount of points per section of the video. I am sniffling a lot. What the heck? I might grab a tissue. Tissue acquired. That was great. Anyway, there's a point system. So both analysis segments can get up to 2 points. One for their story, one for their verses. So that's a total of 4 points for the first two analysis segments. And the post-analysis can get up to 1 point. And they explained it well. So that's 5 points for the analysis segments, and of course 5 points for the fight as well. Making it even for half analysis, half fight. Which I think is fair, because a bad analysis really can drag down an episode. So let's start with Omni-Man's analysis, and it's a little rough. Not that it's a bad analysis at all, as you'll soon see. But like, starting with the story, it just kind of covered the same story as last time with a few extra things that didn't really add anything in my opinion. And the editing was just kind of fine. Like, it just didn't really do anything for me personally. I've seen it 2 times now, maybe 3, and I don't know, just doesn't do anything for me. So I'll give story half a point because it does cover it well. I just think it's kind of retreading old ground. I'll also give a half point to verses, and I might as well just talk about this now while I'm talking about half point for verses. If you haven't seen the episode, yada yada yada, 3, 2, 1, Omni-Man won, which, okay, I like Omni-Man, so I'm not upset with him winning. As you guys may know, the winner doesn't matter to me, as long as they explain it well. As long as they do a good job explaining it well, I'm chill, There are great episodes that have winners I disagree with, and there are bad episodes that have winners I agree with. However, they do a really weird job explaining why Omni-Man wins. They talk about this feat with the sun blocking, but they give zero reason why it scales to Omni-Man. They said, oh, most weapons can't kill Viltrumites. And then they show a comic panel implying this weapon can kill Viltrumites. What does it say? We now have a list of weapons that can hurt Viltrumites. I think that's what it says. But that would imply that it can. And there's no evidence that Omni-Man could survive a blast like that. And even if he could survive a blast like that, it would take his pure power and endurance, and not him avoiding it using his speed, or his healing factor helping him heal from it. It gives no evidence for why, which is annoying. So I'm going to give it half point for verses, because it covers a lot of the feats well, but their main arguing point is not supported at all, which is a big bummer for me. So that's 1 point for Omni-Man's analysis overall, which is a good analysis. 2 points is great, 0 points is awful, 1 is a good analysis. It did its job. On the contrary, Bardock's was great. I really like Bardock's analysis. They covered his story really well. It was actually a little bit longer. I actually checked. It's actually a little bit longer than Omni-Man's too. They actually went really in depth with Bardock's story. They covered both non-canon and canon stuff, including the Dragon Ball Super manga, which I assumed they were going to cover, but it was still nice to see it. And of course, the editing was fantastic. I believe Galaxy Video Max actually did some of the editing for Bardock's analysis, which showed he did a great job. And the versus stuff was covered really well. The only weird thing, how they explained his speed feat to be a little odd, but I get what they were going with. Like, they had evidence, they just worded it in some weird ways. Like, they didn't really explain why Goku pushing that would equate to a speed feat, and how that applies to Bardock besides power levels. Which power levels are not exactly reliable, but, whatever. So that's 2 points for Bardock. So overall, that is 3 out of 4 points for the analysis segments. So that's good. We'll quickly cover the post-analysis. Like I said, before, the way they explain Omni-Man's feats are really weird. So they did like the 5 category thing they do with Goku vs. Superman, which I like. I wouldn't want that every time. I sometimes like how they just cover stuff otherwise. But it was good. They explained really well Omni-Man's endurance and stamina. But again, they have the kind of weird Bardock speed feat, the really weird Omni-Man strength feat, and then like they had like the 3 Viltrumite destroying the 1 planet feat, and they had the number up, and I'm like, but like there were 3 Viltrumites doing that with help from someone else. Are you giving that all to Omni-Man? Stuff like that. It's again, the way they cover Omni-Man was really weird. So I'm gonna give post analysis half a point. They just everything to do with Omni-Man, they just don't explain well. They don't give you any actual evidence why Omni-Man should be given these feats, besides this thing instead, and that might mean this, and that might mean this. You know, it's just odd. It's not terrible, it's just whatever. So it's half a point for the post-analysis, for a total of 3.5 points for all the analysis segments. With that being said, there are 5 total points for the fight. So let's see if they get those 5 total points. There are 10 categories, each broken down into half a point, obviously adding up to 5 points. There is, first of all, the intro. The intro did its job perfectly. It had a nice establishing shot, the Saiyan pod came down, Bardock comes out, the Scouter, and the Omni-Man comes rushing in, they have a cool Dragon Ball Fighters clash. It's a good intro, half a point. The death. I really like the idea behind the death, but in execution, I don't think it was done very well. So first of all, the actual death is his arm exploding, which it kind of has like the cracks coming up the arm, kind of, it looks like Tom vs. Popeye, which is fine, and his arm explodes, and he's instantly out of Super Saiyan. And that kills him. Like, he could survive having his arm blown off. It's just a weird death, and plus, he goes, oh, you said Saiyan. It's a good character moment, but then it's like, there was really no foreshadowing or reason why Omni-Man should be sad. Like, they were angry the entire fight, and suddenly at the end he's sad. Which, maybe that was the point, but, I don't know. It's not a bad death, but I feel obligated to not give it the half point. It just has a lot of weird stuff going on with it. Next up we have characters, how they act in the fight. Personality is the next category, that's a different category. And yeah, I think both characters fought as I think they should fight. I think they did a good job portraying the characters through their actions, and portraying their personalities, the next category, and their personalities are on point. Bardock, all the dialogue was very well written, in my opinion. I don't think there's any particular line I didn't like. So yeah, so half point for character and half point for personality. And choreography was pretty good. I think the way they used, like Omni-Man hitting Bardock with his own tail was pretty cool. I just think the way they had them fight worked really well. So choreography gets half a point. Pacing was really well. Having 3 transformations paced out really, really well like that. It never felt rushed. It never felt like one transformation kind of overshadowed the other. The Great Ape and the Super Saiyan both, I think, had equal presence. So yeah, pacing was really well as well. Next up is animation quality, which is a hard one to judge, because it could be like little things I don't like that really bother me. Like in this fight, I don't like the Omni-Man model they used. I don't know if it's a custom model, or if it's like an upscaled Fortnite model. I just don't know. It just looks... It looks like an action figure. It's like a... I don't know how to describe it. It just looks super weird. And a lot of the shots, like the killing shot with him punching Bardock's arm, looks like... I'm like, what the heck? What is going on with his mouth? I just don't like the model, and it kind of takes me out of a lot of moments. Not every moment. It looks great in some moments. It takes me out of some moments. Other than that, the particle effects were beautiful. Bardock's model was great. It was a great other than that, but I feel it really stuck out in my mind, so I will deduct it half a point because of the model, but maybe on future viewings I'll feel different. I mean, it only changes the score by half a point, so... Accuracy, which is how well it portrays their conclusion. And in the fight, Bardock was much faster. Even the Great Ape form was outspeeding Omni-Man. However, Omni-Man was always stronger. Bardock was more unga-bunga, throwing projectiles and kind of just grabbing, while Omni-Man used his environment more and studied him more. That portrays their outcome really well, so half a point. Sound design. This is how well the actual sound effects are, the voice acting, and not really how the OST works with the fight, but it can be. I'll explain it in a second. So voice acting was great. I forgot to check who voiced them. Dang it. I meant to check who voice acted them, but I'll either way, they both did an amazing job. The sound design was, I think, better than previous Dragon Ball fights. It's not. There was a lot of impactful stuff and some stuff that wasn't as impactful. So, but my main thing is the sound. Some parts of the sound mixing on the soundtrack was a little weird. Like Bardock's Super Saiyan transformation, I feel like the sound didn't really work too well with that. I don't know. I'll deduct it half the point. The sound effects were pretty good or pretty not good, and some of the mixing was kind of weird. So yeah, but the soundtrack on its own was great. The last section is OST, how well it works for the fight, and how well it works on its own as well, and both are great. It works really well for the fight, except for the Super Saiyan transformation. I feel like they should have used a different. I don't know. It's just odd, and on its own, it's a great song. So that is a total of 3.5 points for the fight, totaling to 7 points total. So Omni-Man vs. Bardock gets a 7 out of 10, which, and now after I give you the final number, I kind of see if I agree with that. And based on my system, yeah, I'd say I'll give, even without the point system, 7 out of 10 feels right to me. It has a lot of stuff I really like, and a couple stuff that just really drags down the episode, like Omni-Man's kind of boring analysis, the weird Omni-Man model, and of course the weird versus stuff. But that stuff only dragged it down to a 7, which again is a good episode. 5 is average, so 7 is like a good to really good episode. Well, yeah, so honestly, a good way to start off the season. I really like Bardock vs. Omni-Man. So that brings us to next time. My next time prediction. Me coughing, I had a coughing fit as soon as I mentioned next time. That was so fitting. Because, of course, it's Joker versus Giorno. This one is obviously one of the most heated debates in all of the versus community that I've seen. So, first of all, what do I think of the matchup first? It is conceptually a great matchup. Both characters have solid connections. They both have solid, power sets that bounce off each other. It's just a really annoying debate. Now, what do I feel personally about the matchup? Well, considering I have seen JoJo Part 5 multiple times, and I'm 90 hours into Persona 5. Yeah, I kind of like Joker and Giorno a lot. I haven't finished Persona 5, to be fair. Just, it's a game that I started playing when I had a full-time job and a full-time college, and then I just don't have enough. I don't play video games as much as I used to, but I do love the game, and when I do, I have other games I want to play too. So I kind of jump back to Persona 5 whenever it's the vibe. But anyway, I do love Joker, I love Giorno, so... Do I say I like them about equally? Probably. I probably like them about equally. Maybe some slight favor towards Joker, depending on how I'm feeling that day. So yeah, I do love this matchup conceptually. Now, what I think of the actual versus side of it, it's complicated. Now, I haven't finished Persona 5, but I do know the feats. I know the feats everyone talks about. I don't know why they happen. I've had people talk to me about Joker's scaling without spoiling why he gets it. So I know what Joker's biggest versus feats are without spoiling the game, why he gets them. So that's good for me, at least. So, and of course I've seen JoJo Part 5, and I know some extra media around it, so I know both their feats and scaling. So at the base level, Joker should be way stronger, unless they do something weird with Giorno and be like, him creating infinite deaths is like creating infinite universes and be multiversal. I've seen some people argue multiversal for Giorno, but I don't know. That's kind of weird. Unless you give me actual evidence for that, then I don't agree with that. But either way, Joker should be stronger. Faster, I don't know exactly. Because not only is GR passive, but GR is its own conscious being. And if GR is able to counter anything before it hits Giorno, does that give GR infinite speed? I mean, I'm not sure about that. So, either way, yeah, Joker get past GR? I don't know. There's some evidence that he can, and some evidence that he can't. And most people ignore that Giorno has other really broken abilities. Like, if you hit one of his creations, all the damage you did to it will be reflected onto you. So if Joker uses a multiversal attack on a... If Giorno can just throw a frog in front of it, and then that multiversal attack will hit Joker instead. So Giorno does have a way of killing Joker. And plus with the infinite death thing, the real question is, when he hits someone, does that instantly cause an infinite death? Some people say no, he has to kill them first for it to work. And some people say yes, because that's how the ability works. I'm kind of on the edge, because when he hits someone, he can revert anything to 0. So couldn't he just revert their life to 0 when he hits them? Therefore killing them, therefore starting the infinite death. So, I'm not sure, honestly, which way it'll go. However, when he hits Joker, he'll definitely do the whole jumping out of the body thing, which would lead him to be able to combo him, which might lead to infinite death. So, I'm kind of leaning towards Giorno here. I mean, Joker has some really broken abilities, but he's a player character who can lose if you don't do the right things during the boss battle. Well, Giorno is a character who is straight up not meant to lose. He only lost non-canonly to the World Over Heaven, which was BS anyway, because then Star Platinum beat the World Over Heaven, so it doesn't make any sense. So that shouldn't... If they bring up that shouldn't be used, because it makes no sense even in the context of that game. So, yeah. I think Giorno should win. If Joker wins, hunky-dory, you know, I like both characters, so... That is my prediction for next time. Thank you for watching, well, I guess listening, because my camera's not working. Thank you for listening to my review of Omni-Man vs. Bardock. My prediction for freaking Joker vs. Giorno. Hope you guys have a good day. I'm very excited to watch the next time. We don't have a date for it. I think they said they want to do it once a month, which I'm fine with. But if it comes out sooner, I'll be really happy. Alright, guys.